What's up, y'all? We are back with the Liquor Lounge portion of the podcast, and this week we are going to be talking about something a little different. Normally, for the Liquor Lounge portion, we have a topic, we have a question, either from myself or from one of the group members posed in the group, and we will answer the question, talk about our experience, and share our insight. However, because it's just me, and normally this would be something that I would do as a podcast extra, but whatever, we're here. Um, and hopefully, you know what I'm saying, this goes well. Now, if you know anything about me, you know that I am very spiritual. I cherish my relationship with God. I value my relationship with God. And it is very important to me. However, I'm not really a crystals girl, but I do have some crystals. I'm not one of those people that like walks around with my crystals, put my crystals in my socks, have them with me all the time. Like I don't be doing all of that. First of all, the crystals were gifted to me a very long time ago, and I just never got rid of them. Um, and if you know anything else about me, then you know that I wouldn't say very heavily into uh, astrology, but I've always been interested in astrology. I've always found it very interesting how these different characteristics that coordinate with these signs are aligned. Like for me, a Sagittarius, we're very honest. That's true. We're very adventurous. We don't like to be tied down. We don't like to be committed to something, even though I am in a committed relationship, absolutely. But it takes a lot for us to get to a point where we feel like we are okay with being committed to you. So if you do get a Sagittarius to commit, baby, you better hold on. Because one thing we ain't going to do, we going to be loyal to a fault. That's one of my downfalls. Sometimes I can be too loyal to where I'm missing signs and wonders and red flags. Okay? And we gonna take care of you. So if you do get a Sagittarius to commit, like, hold on. Just hold on to it. As far as Babe, a Scorpio, yeah, they're very freaky. They hold grudges. They have a hard time letting things go. I don't really know much more about Scorpios, but to me, it's just always been interesting how these characteristics align with these people based off of their birth dates. Like, to me, that's just fascinating. So this episode, we are going to get into moon phases, and this comes from y'all know I'm a very avid podcast listener. I listen to a lot of different podcasts, and I was listening to Debbie Brown's what is her podcast called? I believe it's called Living Deeply Well. Deeply Well. It's called Deeply Well. And she had a guest, Daryl Gaines, and they were talking about moon phases. And if you know anything else about me, you know that I am particularly fascinated with the moon. I love the moon. Like, moon phases, the different shapes, sizes, colors, new moons, orange moons, pink moons, full moon. Like, I love the moon. So when I heard this episode, I was like, I'm going to bring this to my podcast because I feel like I can't be the only person interested in this kind of stuff. So I wanted y'all to know, based on what they were talking about, how to understand the phases of the different moons and how they can incorporate into your life. Okay? So, new moons, according to Daryl Gaines, new moons are when you need to manifest inner things when the sun and moon aligns. Okay, so set intentions. This is a good time to start new projects, plan clear and specific goals, and set first. I put first set towards aspirations. I don't. I don't know what that really means, but I feel like that basically new moons are where you manifest inner things. New moons happen when the sun and moon align. It's a good time to set intentions, start new projects, plan and plan clear and specific goals, and set new aspirations. Full moons. Full moons are a good time for releasing, shedding, like you know how we talked about Megan Thee Stallion on What You Watching, and Megan's whole album was about, it was called, what was it called? Jesus, why am I drawing a blank with everything right now? Good thing I have my resource right here. Oh, it says it was just called Megan, but she did the whole snake skin thing and the snake shedding the skin. So full moons are a time for releasing, shedding. It's a good time for you to get clarity. This is when the moon is opposite from the sun and it's in completion. So this is a good time to tie up any loose ends, complete any projects, shed and release any relationships that may not be serving you. So friendships, family relationships, romantic relationships. Like, this is a time to release. Anything that begins during a new moon and a full moon, is time to bring it to a close. So, like I said, tie up any loose ends. You know what I'm saying? That closure that you need, either get it and be done with it or just let it go. Celebrate achievements and progress and make decisions. So, I have a hard time celebrating achievements because my brain, and Nikki's brain, she'll tell you too, that we're always just on go. We're always like, what's next? What's next? What's next? What's next? What can I be doing more? What can I be doing more? What can I be doing more? And sometimes you have to just sit back and appreciate what you've done thus far and accept that where you are is further away from where you started. That's it. So a waning moon is this is a good time to prepare for the next cycle. So if you look at your weather app, it'll kind of tell you what moon is expected to come about. So you can kind of plan based on that. If you're not into moon phases, then you don't have to. This is truly optional. It's something that, you know what I'm saying, you can get into or you don't have to get into. But me personally, like I said, I'm always been fascinated by the moon. I love moon phases and all of this kind of stuff. So if there's something that can help me be clear and set intentions and work towards my goals, then I'm going to use it as a resource. I'm not glorifying it. I'm not worshiping it. I'm not praising it. I'm not making it another God. I'm not doing that. But I'm using it as a resource to help me get further along in life. So again, waning moons, preparation for a new cycle, tie up any loose ends, and determine what no longer serves you. Again, family relationships, friendships, romantic relationships. If a particular aspect of something in a relationship, it don't have to be fully that person. It could just be something that they're doing. If that no longer serves you, or something you're doing, or something you're not doing, or something they're not doing, make that known. This is a good time to make that known. It's hard to have hard conversations, but when you know these things are coming up, it can make it easier for you if you already are prepared with what you want to say and how you want to approach it. Waxing moons is a good time for growth and building. So that's when you need to be writing down new ideas, talking about, for me, where I want the podcast to go, where I want BrownLiqHer to ascend to, like all of the different things that I'm trying to do, like with BrownLiqHer Media Group as a whole. So Then they got into all the different signs and what their moons mean. So if you ever hear like somebody say, or if you're ever looking at your horoscope and it says, the moon is in Capricorn, or the moon is in Scorpio, or moon is in Taurus, this is what these moons mean for each sign. So, an Aries moon is a very high energy and drive initiating action and taking bold steps. Focus on independence and personal goals. So, if you're ever looking at your horoscope and it says moon is in Aries, focus on independence and personal goals. Where are you with your goals? Like, just take inventory. Where are you with your goals? Are you achieving them? Have you made small steps? Have you made big steps? Have you, like, where are you? Just take inventory. It might be a time where you notice that your energy is high because Aries moon is high energy. A Taurus moon means building and consolidating efforts. So if I'm working on something for the podcast and I'm trying to do too much, that would be a time for me to figure out how I can put two things together to make it one instead of trying to do multiple things. Just like how I was trying to do two podcasts when I had came up with the docu review podcast, and I merged it into this podcast because I like documentaries. I like, true crime. I like all of those kind of things. And instead of trying to do two different podcasts, I made it what you watching segment. Same thing. It could have been at that time a Taurus moon. I don't know. I didn't look at it during that time that I came up with the idea to merge the two ideas into one. But that very much so could have been how I came up with that idea. A Gemini moon. A Gemini moon is big on communication and intellectual pursuit, networking, learning, and sharing ideas. Great for short trips. So if you're ever looking at your horoscope, or if you ever are feeling overwhelmed and you see that it says that a Gemini moon is coming, or you're in a Gemini moon, plan a short trip. Go somewhere. Even if it's just a road trip, hour away, 2 hours away. Plan a short trip and reset. Basically, that's all these moon phases are doing for you. Helping you reset. Communication. Talk to the people in your life. Get it out. Intellectual pursuit and networking. Make connections with people that you wouldn't normally make connections with. I talk to a lot of people in podcasting, but I'm starting to talk to a lot of people in marketing because I need to learn how to better market this podcast. I pretty much got down the podcasting aspect of it. Now I need to go to the next phase. So now I'm starting to have a lot of conversations with people in marketing. I work as a pharmacy tech. I'm starting to have a lot of conversations with people who are in my field where my degree is, so I could figure out if that's the next move that I want to make. So, networking. A Cancer moon. Now, we all know all the Cancers in our lives are very emotional people. So it makes absolute sense that a Cancer moon is emotional and nurturing. If a moon is ruled by Cancer, focus on family and self-care, deep introspection, and connection with loved ones. So this is your time to take care of yourself. Every Cancer in my life is very emotional, very nurturing, very, very much so in tune with their feelings. And I feel like if you're ever looking at your horoscope and it says that a moon is in Cancer, get in tune with your feelings. Tap into your inside. Where are you mentally? Where are you emotionally? Have those hard conversations. Focus on reflecting on yourself. Journal. I always tell people to journal. And if you don't like journaling, Do voice notes. If you don't like actually pen to paper writing down how you feel because you feel like somebody might find it or read it or whatever, do voice notes and lock them. Do voice notes, talk into your phone, say how you feel, get it out, and lock it so that nobody has access to it but you. It's just that simple. And then you still feel the release of journaling as you would as if you were to put pen to paper, but you got your feelings out and nobody knows unless you decide to share it with somebody, you know, where you are mentally. Leo moon. Leo moon is a creative and expressive energy. This is a time to showcase talents and enjoy life and build your confidence. So, Leo moon is more than likely when I'm coming up with a lot of ideas for the podcast, growing it, trying to figure out how I can pivot and do new things. Y'all know that I do not like talking about the stuff that typical podcasts are talking about. As a lesbian podcast, I feel like we have enough podcasts out here that are talking about the strap and the book bag and the bisexual studs and the unusual relationships and I don't want to get into all of that. I just feel like we are past that. As a mature lesbian, as somebody who has been out since 2007, damn near 20 years, like we are beyond that. And I feel like if you and no disrespect to the baby studs, I love y'all. Baby studs, this podcast is for y'all because these mature lesbians on here are telling you, sharing their experiences and telling you, giving you insight on how to navigate through this lesbian lifestyle. However, if you are trying to learn more information about what happens in this lesbian world, Google is your friend. Real people can be your friends. You can go and make friends with people and ask questions. Like, I just don't like to get into the low level conversations. I feel like some of the stuff is so repetitive and so just worn out. And so when Leo moon comes, if I'm ever looking at my horoscope and it says the moon is in Leo, best believe I'm in my phone. I got my notes. I'm trying to, even if I just write down a simple word or an idea and I don't flesh it out completely, I may come back to it a month later, 2 weeks later, whenever, you know what I mean? It just get it out just to already have the idea. You don't have to have all the details. You don't have to have every bullet point figured out. You don't have to have the whole script written. You know what I'm saying? Just start. So Virgo moon. Virgo moon is a good time for organizing and planning, health, wellness, and service, and very detail oriented. So organize your thoughts, plan out your content. You know what I'm saying? Get into your health care. Figure out what's going on with you physically. Okay? Go to the doctor. Go have your checkups. Write down the details. If you were in Leo moon and it was creative and expressive, and now you're in Virgo moon, flesh out those ideas that was brought to you during the creative moon. Flesh out those ideas. Virgo moon is a good time to add the details to those ideas. Add more details to the script. Just like I said, you don't have to have the whole script written, but you know what I'm saying? Virgo moon is where you can really get into the bag of how you're going to do what you're going to do. Libra moon. Libra moon, now this makes a lot of sense because we know Libra is the balancing scale. So Libra moon is balancing energy, relationships, partnerships, and social connections. If you notice that the moon is in Libra, if you're putting more time into work than you are to your side hustle, find a way to balance that out. If you're spending more time with friends than your partner, find a way to balance that out. If you are being more friendly than serious, find a way to balance that out. That's all that means. Scorpio moon is an intense moon. Here we go with these goddamn Scorpios. I'm telling you, now don't get it twisted. I love my woman. She is a Scorpio through and through, but they are intense. Okay? Like, they are something else. Scorpio moon, intense, deep, they are also very emotional. Yes, they are. So this makes sense for them too. Scorpio moon, intense moon, deep emotional work and healing. Focus on passion, power, and profound change. Okay? So deep emotional work and healing. Go inside. Figure out what it is that you need to heal from. We all are out here dealing with things, just like I talked about in What You Watching. We all are out here dealing with something. Find out how you need to heal and what you need to heal from, and work on that. Yeah, that's all I got for Scorpio. Sagittarius moon. Now, this makes sense for us too, because like I said, we're very adventurous. We love to travel. So this makes perfect sense for us. So Sagittarius moon is very explorative. It's a good time for growth, travel, and growing horizons. It's an adventurous, expansive energy. So during that time, you probably are all over the place. It's a good time to just kind of, because we are, as Sagittarius, we're all over the place. We have a hard time committing to one thing. We have a hard time sitting in one place. We have a hard time doing one thing at a time. We are very good at multitasking because we can be focused on 10 things at one time and do all of them well. At least I can. I can't speak for every Sagittarius, but I can. And let me tell you something. These November Sagittarius and these December Sagittarius is a vast difference. Vast difference. So let me just say that. But during the Sagittarius moon, like I said, explore. Go out and do something that you wouldn't normally do. Go walk a trail. You know what I'm saying? Go sit by a lake. Really sit with yourself and just reflect. Take a new trip. Go somewhere you wouldn't normally go. Do something that you wouldn't normally do. If you're the type of person that like to sit in the house, go outside. Go in the backyard. Grounding. We're gonna do a whole nother episode on different types of meditation. But yeah, do something that you wouldn't normally do. As a Sagittarius, we're always looking for things that are new, that are different, that are fun, that are exciting. Do something that you wouldn't normally do. Capricorn moon is ambitious. It's a good time for career, long-term goals, hard work and achievements, and discipline. So Capricorn is at the beginning of the year, so it makes sense that it's a disciplined moon, because that's when a lot of people try to focus on working out and changing their diets and changing their eating habits and doing that whole thing. So that makes sense that it's a very disciplined time. So during a Capricorn moon, figure out how you need to become more disciplined. What do you need to do? Do you need to get up early? Do you need to go to bed early? What do you need to do to be more disciplined? Aquarius moon. Aquarius moon is innovative, unconventional, forward thinking. They think outside of the box. Social causes and new ideas, community and technology. So do something new. How can you, whatever you are doing, how can you make it new? That's innovative. Unconventional and forward thinking. Same thing. How can you make it new? How can you make it different than what everybody else is doing? Think outside the box. Like, don't go along with what everybody else is saying they're doing. I like to do that just on GP. Like, that's just me on a regular basis. I like to be outside of what everybody else is doing. Hence the whole conversation that we had about everything else that all the lesbian podcasts are talking about. Pisces moon. Pisces moon is a good time for compassionate and intuitive creativity and spiritual pursuits. Focus on your dreams, be of service, and have empathy. So if you normally are a person that don't care about what somebody else is going through, be empathetic. Figure out how you can volunteer for your local uh domestic violence shelter. Be of service. Like, donate something to the church. Like, to find out how you can get out into the community. Have compassion when you do it. Don't just do it because I'm saying the moon is in Pisces, and because I'm saying the moon is in Pisces and it's the time to be compassionate, that you just doing it. Like, no. Have compassion when you're doing it. Be intuitive and creative. So I know y'all gonna say BrownLiqHer going woo woo, but I just wanted to get this out there because, like I said, I'm very fascinated with the moon, and I know that I can't be the only person that is into this stuff. Horoscopes are something that I look at occasionally. I don't read my horoscope every day, and like I said, I'm a very, very spiritual girl. I am not gonna put anything before my God. Okay, and another thing that they said on this particular podcast is aligning with the natural flow of energy. The moon represents our subconscious, our emotional needs. It helps us understand our inner needs and how we want to be loved. Help leads to greater harmony, productivity, and fulfillment. So, like I said, it's just a resource. We don't have to get all deep into it and be like, oh, how can you say you love God and you talking about moon phases and Sagittarius moons and Pisces moons and Scorpio moons and full moons and wane? It's not that deep. Just use it as a resource. At the end of the day, energy is circulating around us whether you believe in God or not. Okay? Energy is circling around us every day. Every time you come in contact with a new person, you're coming in contact with their energy. So there's that. Okay, do with that what you will. And with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and get on up out of here, y'all. I gotta get ready for work. Okay, my actual job is calling. But anyway, y'all make sure y'all stay tuned. We will be back with another episode of BrownLiqHer, and Naked Nikki will be back on the podcast. Don't worry, she is just working right now. As per usual, we are working girls, okay? And we'll be back next week with another episode of BrownLiqHer. Again, make sure you follow us on all of our social media, and wherever you're listening to this podcast, leave a review, interact with our poll, and give us a 5-star review, because y'all know y'all love it here. Y'all know y'all love it here. That's why y'all keep coming back. So, do like I said and leave us a review. Okay? All right. And with that being said, y'all, peace out. And don't forget to what? Lick that split.